Tyrion Lannister had no army, no respect, and a family that treated him like a mistake. He won anyway.
I wish I was the monster you think I am.
And if you've ever been the youngest in the room, the newest, the one nobody expected, you've felt the pull to prove yourself immediately. That impulse is exactly what he never acts on, and it's why he wins. In the next 12 minutes, you'll learn the exact 4-part system Tyrion deploys to flip power hierarchies, and how the most dangerous people in your life are already running it on you. Here's the roadmap. 1. Why he names his weakness before anyone else can use it. 2. How contempt becomes an intelligence operation. 3. The pivot that works when everything else has failed. 4. Why he always questions before he speaks. Here's what everyone gets wrong about Tyrion Lannister. They call him witty. What he actually is fast. Specifically, fast at surrendering his own weapons before anyone can aim them. Jon Snow is a bastard, ashamed of it. Tyrion clocks this in seconds. His opening isn't comfort, it's a provocation. Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you. This is confession first. When you name your own liability before your opponent does, 2 things collapse simultaneously. Their surprise, gone. Their leverage, dead. If they repeat your confession after you've already made it, they look redundant, small, late. The person who defends a weakness signals that the weakness matters. Tyrion leads with his. The room has nothing left to attack. Most people spend energy hiding what they are. Tyrion spends 0. That energy gets redirected. Real world, you're in an interview. The manager can see you're unproven. You wait for them to raise it. Now you're on defense the entire conversation. Or you open with it. I'm early career, so I'll be direct about what I'm still building. They can't use it. You already did. This only lands when the disclosure is genuine and timed before the attack. Performed vulnerability collapses the moment anyone looks closely. People smell the difference immediately. The person who hands you the knife first isn't vulnerable. They're telling you it won't work. By the end of this video, you'll see why Tyrion's most powerful move happens when he appears to be completely losing. Hold that. Here's what surface takes miss entirely. Tyrion doesn't just tolerate being underestimated. He prolongs it. This is Contempt Harvest. The mechanism? People who dismiss you stop performing for you. They drop their guard. They talk openly in your presence because why hide anything from someone who doesn't matter? Watch what he's actually collecting while they perform for each other. Who interrupts whom? That's the real power map, not the official titles. Who waits to speak until someone else speaks first? That's who's actually afraid. Who looks at Littlefinger before answering Cersei? That tells you where the real alliance is. Who smiles late? That's who already knows the outcome before it's announced. By the time he uses that map to outmaneuver Cersei and Littlefinger separately across the following episodes, he built it while they were busy dismissing him. The quiet person in your meeting who hasn't spoken, that's the negotiation you should be worried about. Treat observers as participants. Never plan in front of anyone you've dismissed. Next meeting where you're newest or youngest. Don't prove yourself in the first 10 minutes. Who defers to whom, who interrupts whom, who performs and who watches. Use that map when you finally speak. Contempt is free intelligence. Most people correct it. He banks it. Here's the most uncomfortable technique in this video, and it's the one that works when everything else has failed. Before the Blackwater speech, another scene worth noting, you can see the same micro moment. Season 2, Episode 9. The gate before the sortie. Jaw tightens, then a half-second smile appears. Not confidence, consent. He's just decided he might die doing this, and he's accepted it. That's not a framework. That's what makes the words land. He speaks from genuine belief in the men's capability, not in survival, in capacity. The crowd hears the difference even if they can't name it. Back to the Eyrie. He requests to speak, then confesses. Not to murder, to wanting a whore, to urinating off the airy wall, to minor sins that have nothing to do with the charges. The crowd laughs. Lisa can no longer hold her frame of grim. Lisa can no longer hold her frame of grim authority. The crowd is no longer emotionally aligned to the trial. The social contract of the proceeding dissolves in 30 seconds. Then, only then, he requests trial by combat. This is frame break. Formal structures derive power from the emotional contract underneath them. The rules technically permit certain moves the emotional expectation never anticipated. Tyrion doesn't violate the rules. He introduces content the rules allow, but the room isn't braced for. The frame cracks. He walks through. You're in a performance review designed to corner you. The manager controls the format. Your move. Introduce a genuine truth the format permits, but doesn't expect. Before I respond, can I tell you what I think the actual problem is? Legal frame break. Now they decide whether to engage or expose the structure. Counter. If someone deploys this on you, don't react. Don't laugh. Acknowledge flatly, noted, and return to the procedural frame. The moment you engage with the reframe, they own the room. He didn't win the airy by being innocent. He won by making the trial impossible to continue. At the start, I said watch for his most powerful move when he's actually losing. Here it is. Tyrion almost never states a position when he can ask a question instead. He doesn't open with demands. He asks about their constraints. He offers recognition, treats them as men with understandable positions. He says very little about what he wants and a great deal about what he's curious about. By the time he states a position, it's already calibrated to land exactly where their constraints allow agreement. He knows more about what they need than they know about what he needs. This is question trap. Whoever answers questions first is drawing a map of their priorities, in what order they list things, what they defend, what they glide past. The questioner collects that map without revealing their own hierarchy. By the time positions are stated, the intelligence phase is already over. Real-world salary negotiation. Candidate leads with their number, positional commitment before understanding the employer's constraints. Or the candidate asks, what does success look like in this role at 6 months? What constraints are you working around that I might not see? What matters more to you? Speed, cost, or control? And why? By the time salary comes up, they know exactly where to land. The employer drew the map. The candidate read it. Counter. Don't answer open-ended questions with long answers. State a short position and immediately redirect. That's our view. What's driving yours? Reclaim the question seat. Next difficult conversation. 3 questions before 1 position. Take real notes. The first thing someone says is almost always the thing they care about most. Build your position around their first answer. Most people prepare what they'll say. Tyrion prepares what he'll ask. Here's the part of this video that no channel will show you. Every technique we've covered works. Tyrion uses all 4, and he still fails catastrophically, repeatedly. Shay, the woman he trusted completely, delivers rehearsed lies against him in front of the court. His frame breaks, not by an opponent, by someone he chose. I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I had. Hold. Tyrion's face. 4 seconds. No framework running. Nothing calculated. That's not strategy. That's a man whose architecture just collapsed in public, because it was built to handle adversaries and had no response for betrayal. Tyrion's system requires clean separation. Love here, leverage there. Relationships in one compartment, strategy in another. For years it holds, until someone crosses the line between compartments and the system has no response, because it assumed the world was adversarial, and he made it so. Real-world parallel. The purely strategic networker. Works for a decade. Then a crisis. Contacts don't show up. Friends do. Tyrion has almost none when he needs them most. The highest application of everything in this video, use these 4 tools in rooms where power is genuinely being contested. Keep them entirely out of genuine relationships. Leverage inside trust isn't power. It's slow poison. The 4-part system is real. The man who built it nearly destroyed himself with it. Here's the final uncomfortable question. You've spent this entire video watching Tyrion deploy these 4 moves, but when did you last check whether someone was running them on you? Think about the person in your life who never defends themselves when criticized, who you always speak freely in front of, who asks more than they tell, who, in every conflict, somehow ends up holding information you didn't realize you'd given them. That's not a coincidence. That's a system. Confession first. You've seen someone name their own weakness and thought, oh good, they're being honest. What they were actually doing was removing the weapon you were about to use. Contempt Harvest. You've spoken freely in front of someone you dismissed. You told them more than you should have. They didn't correct you. They just listened. You've been in a structured confrontation and someone introduced something unexpected. A question, a confession, an absurdity, and the room shifted. You lost the thread. They walked through. Question trap. You've answered 3 questions before you realized you hadn't been asked what you wanted. By the time you noticed, you'd already drawn the map. The counter to all 4 is the same. Slow down before you respond. Ask yourself what you're being asked and why before you answer. The person running a system needs you to react. Your one defense is to make them wait. The most dangerous person in any room is the one who seems least concerned with winning it. We started with a question. How does someone with no army, a family that treated him like a mistake, and a world that had already decided his value, consistently outmaneuver kings, generals, and slavers? It's not cleverness, it's a system. The Tyrion System, 4 signals. 1. Confession first. He names his liability before anyone can weaponize it. The person who hands you the knife first is telling you it won't work. 2. Contempt Harvest. He never corrects underestimation where contempt gives him intelligence access. The person not performing for the room is mapping it. 3. Frame break. When a structure is used to corner him, he introduces content the structure permits but can't contain. The room reorients. He walks through. 4. Question trap. He never states a position before mapping the other side's hierarchy of concerns. Whoever answers first draws the map. Whoever asks first reads it. If someone checks all 4, you're not in a conversation. You're already inside a system they built before you arrived. Deploy these in negotiation, conflict, and competitive rooms. Never on people who trust you. That's not a technique. It's an exit from something real, executed slowly. Tyrion's greatest failures come when strategy bleeds into intimacy, and he can no longer tell the difference. Don't make his mistake.